muslimin min qabl. He has called you Muslim. I'll just give you a really example of how far from the spirit of Islam some of us have gone. When I was in England, Dr. Jamal, somebody played a tape from me in which the man was slandered. And it was a tape sold, you can buy it in Muslim stores, and the man was slandered. And I told the person who had the tape, I said, I know that can't be true, that he didn't, somebody said that he said something. I said, I don't believe that he said that. When I saw him today, he wanted to ask me, I know he didn't believe it either, but he wanted to ask me if I was a Habashi, which is a group in Lebanon, and I don't want to go in because I don't like to talk about groups and use their name, but I am definitely not a Habashi, I'm an Amriki. I mean, it's probably better to be a Habashi literally from Ethiopia than I mean, Habash has a blessed land. The Prophet blessed it and prayed on its leader, but I'm definitely not a Habashi from Lebanon. All right, I'm a Muslim from California. But he asked me that because he said somebody called him and said, I think he's a Habashi. And I said, the only way that I could think that somebody even could confer that at all is that even though I pray northeast, it makes more sense to me southeast. But that's just an issue. I don't like to get involved in those things. I mean, alhamdulillah, in the Maliki madhab, you have a huge spectrum of possibility for qibla. The Prophet said in Medina, "Sharriqu wa gharribu," that when you're in Medina, that for the hayd, that you have to go to either east or west when you go to the toilet, indicating that the junub, either facing or having your back, is facing towards the qibla, which is bad adab. But they said this ridiculous thing, and I asked him, and he said, Astaghfirullah, and I knew I just wanted to just hear it from his own mouth and tell him, that I knew that was not true. But this is something Muslims do. We have literally become sussers, outers, and then everybody has to fit into a category, and I don't like to fit in categories. I happen to like Abu Hamid al-Ghazali, radiallahu anhu, and I've benefited greatly from his books. I also like Ibn Taymiyyah. There's a lot of people that don't like that. You see, because suddenly the right brain and the left brain, there's a corpus callosum is blocked. And they say, no, Abu Hamid al-Ghazali, either you like Abu Hamid al-Ghazali and you don't like Ibn Taymiyyah, or you like Ibn Taymiyyah and you don't like Abu Hamid al-Ghazali, but don't tell me you like both of them. You see, and I say, well, alhamdulillah, I like both of them, so tough luck. And this is what Imam Shafi'i radiallahu anhu said in beautiful poetry, فَقِيهًا وَصُوفِيًا فَكُنْ لَيْسَ وَاحِدًا فإني وحق الله إياك أنصح فذلك قاس لم يذو قلبه تقا وهذا جهول كيف يصلح ذو الجهل. Don't a Sufi, a faqih and a Sufi, don't be one of them. By Allah, I'm giving you sincere counsel. The first one, the faqih, is somebody who they haven't tasted taqwa in their heart, if they don't have a technical term called tasawwuf. And he said, and the other one, the Sufi, is ignorant. And how can an ignorant one ever yaslahu? How can he be someone of salah? And in other words, that the inward and the outward have to be joined. The real mu'min is the mu'min who has his outward Islam is intact, his iman is intact, and ihsan is manifesting. And this is a whole and complete human being. But some of us have become so focused on the outward that we've literally forgotten the inward experience of Islam. And really the spirit of Islam is ultimately وَأَنَّ إِلَىٰ رَبِّكَ الْمُنْتَهَى. To your Lord is your end. This is where we are going. Each one of us will die. I will die and have to be before my Lord. يَوْمَ يَقُومُ النَّاسُ لِرَبِّ الْعَالَمِينَ. On that day, human beings will stand before the Lord of the worlds. This is where we're going to be. Like the man, he said, I used to always demand justice when I looked at all these people around me. And then I started looking at myself and I started begging for mercy. And really, there's a lot of truth to that, you see, because it's so easy for us just to find the faults of other human beings. It's very difficult to see the fault of yourself. One of the valuable sayings in the New Testament that I tell Christians a lot of times when they start picking on Islam, I say, in your book it says that before you pull the speck out of the eye of your brother, pull the 2x4 out of your own eye. And there's a lot of wisdom in that saying, that people need to look at their own selves and they need to assess where they're at and what are we doing. I mean, somebody came, they were criticizing a book that was written saying it has mistakes in it. Subhanallah. Alhamdulillah, every book other than the book of Allah has mistakes in it. Every single book. Imam Shafi'i radiallahu anhu said, I looked at the Risala 40 times. The book he wrote, the Risala, I looked at it 40 times and I kept finding mistakes. After 40 times, I gave up and said, only Allah's book is perfect. And I'm just going to put it out for the people. Now somebody told me the other day, he said, I looked at my book twice after they sent it to the press, and I thought of Imam Shafi'i radiallahu anhu, shattana ma baynahuma. But that's where we're at. So this idea of having a deep taqwa, really of having a taqwa. When I was in Mauritania, and I'll tell you this story, and I haven't told this story publicly, but I'll tell you this story.